A lot has changed since Microsoft first announced the Xbox One, and a lot of the unpopular choices they had made or originally announced have now been done away with. So let's you and I, Tim, discuss the changes that were made.
We could also call this segment Tim was right about everything.
I don't know if we have proof of that or video evidence.
Somewhere on the internet. You should go through them one by one?
Sure,
okay.
Let's do it. Some of the most popular selling points are still behind a paywall, the Xbox Live Gold. So that includes their game DVR service, Skype, and their on-screen guide.
As well as features like Netflix and Hulu.
Yeah, but that's always been behind that wall. I disagree with that choice, but it's still there. And we don't know if PS4 will have those choices behind a paywall either. They likely will. But let's get to what actually people should be excited about. Can you lend games to friends and family? Originally, no. Well, you could share the codes, you could share 10 games technically, but you could play your games on someone else's Xbox One, but you couldn't play their games on your Xbox One. It was a little confusing, to say the least.
I thought the original plan that they pitched was cool, was that anyone you designate as in your family, you can share your games remotely. So somebody, your cousin in Minnesota, could play your game remotely just by signing in as your family member.
Yeah, but people didn't want to share the licenses. They wanted to share their discs.
Right.
And not have to pay for another license.
So this one is the double-edged sword. We can share discs now, but now that's been, the licensing thing has been removed.
Yeah, that is kind of a double-edged sword, because some people are like, oh, that's holding back innovation in the sharing process. But on the other hand, it's kind of expensive.
I think it's the one be careful what you wish for component of this article.
Okay.
Because we got it, and now it's that way.
It originally was announced that Microsoft executives wanted the Xbox One to always require an internet connection. And even at the time, Don Matrick he infamously said, well, if you don't have an always connected internet connection, you shouldn't get the Xbox One, which people did not like, including us. Anyway.
I didn't think I'd ever have to talk about Don Matrick again, but here it is.
Just
when I think
guy.
I'm out, bringing me back in.
Do you want to complain about him?
No, this is the last time we'll ever mention him.
He's gone. He's not there anymore.
Right, that's why I thought that.
So that was done away with soon after E3 because that was one of the most unpopular additions they had put on. Many people don't have a consistent internet connection, and I think that was a good choice overall. Another question was, can we play pre-owned games? It was always like, I don't know, no, maybe, but yeah, now we can. That was unambiguously a good choice for consumers of the Xbox One.
Yeah, I think they were quiet about it for so long because the initial answer was going to be no, but we're getting so much bad press that we don't really want to say it out loud.
See, here's the deal. Sony kind of took a knife to their throat at E3. They had to make these changes, especially these widely unpopular ones, and the ones that they were kind of like jabbing them over. Like, we're not screwing you. This is our selling point, and it's going over like gangbusters. So I feel like a lot of these additions were very necessary for the Xbox One's mass survival.
Although Sony certainly contributed to it, I give more props to the consumers who voiced their opinions loudly. This is not something we want. Don't do it like this, or we're not going to buy your system.
Yes, but the consumers were also very excited about Sony's choices. It went over so well. So this overwhelmingly, like, that's bad, and this is good. So that worked out really well.
A perfect storm of bad PR.
Bad PR and good PR for the competitor. Here's something you can be really excited about. Will the Xbox One come with a fucking amazing sticker?
Yes, it will come with a sticker.
It will also come with a headset because everyone wanted it.
Yeah, and
that's it.
That kind of goes hand in hand with the next one.
Which is?
Which
you
is,
say it. I don't know what you're going to say.
Will it work without the Kinect?
Which is?
Now, yes.
Now it has been announced that it will work without the Kinect. You don't even have to plug the Kinect in, but you can turn off all the sensors that it would hear your voice or whatever, or recognize you.
If you were in the camp that didn't trust Microsoft and not steal your information because of this always-on Kinect, you're still not going to trust a little button that says, oh, it's off.
But you can unplug the whole thing and put it in your closet.
Yeah.
Which begs the question, are they going to release an Xbox One that's a little bit cheaper, that doesn't come with the Kinect? And it looks like right now, probably not. They're really pushing the new Kinect as a social device.
I say yes.
Well, do you think they're gonna release a version without the Kinect?
Because the last thing that people are complaining about is the price point.
Yeah.
Too expensive with all this stuff. So they'll come out with the cheap budget version.
I feel like they won't do that at least for a while, unless it's proven that people are, really opposed to it and they are letting it gather dust in the closet. But it seems to me that they're really pushing that aspect, that we need this as the next step in our entertainment system, which gamers have said we don't care. But okay, we'll see. We'll see if you were right again.
The one that they're not going to back down on, though, is the next one. That's backwards compatibility.
Yeah, it's not happening.
That's just not happening. Sorry,
But
everybody.
Sony's not doing it either, so yeah, don't expect to see that happen
Hard
at
line
all
in the sand.
anytime soon. There's one feature that was just announced that may sway you over. This comes from Xbox's General Manager of Console Development, Leo Del Castillo. Now the Xbox One can sense when it's about to overheat and adjust. I mean, it is shaped more square-like, more like a DVR, and people will probably stack things on it. Well, they can't really account for what people will do, but they can try to counter it. Have you ever had your Xbox 360 overheat? I sure as hell have, and
yeah.
it sucked.
Sadly, I did have an overheat. Not because I put anything on top of it. I think it was just bad airflow, and I was working it too hard.
I threw a jacket on top of my Xbox 360 like an idiot, and it overheated. And it took me...
Although, if I recall correctly, the fix for that was also overheating. Yeah, the towel trick. Yeah, it did. Totally did the job. That's so weird. Anyway,
It
so
is weird.
what can the Xbox One do?
It can adjust when it senses it's overheating so that it doesn't overheat.
Brilliant.
Which is great! We've been waiting for it.
So this is sort of the thing that PCs have been able to do for 10 years
Shh. Don't mention that Microsoft knows about PCs. So I guess it's overdue. It's a great feature, I guess. We don't know if Sony is going to do that. So is it enough? Are you swayed?
now. No, I'm not swayed. But I would be surprised if Microsoft didn't learn a few lessons from the 360.
And their own computers.
Considering how many machines they had to take back with red rings and repairs and errors and overheating issues. So
that's admirable, at least. I'm wondering, though, if that's enough to sway all the audience members, because we had a lot of feedback on our last on an older video in which we first announced all these really unpopular features with the Xbox One. Is it fixed now? Is it enough for you to want to go buy the Xbox One, or are you still on Team Sony or Team PC Master Race, which I think is going to be the overwhelmingly popular answer? Let us know in the comments.
No!